British. You know, in 1874, the Ashanti king, he was called Kofi Kakari. He fought the British and beheaded their general in Kumasi. So they had to set Kumasi on fire. Why? Because he wouldn't cave in for any slavery. And he fought them.
But that was to enslave the Ashanti.
That was to enslave us.
But the Ashanti was enslaving others.
No, brother. If you go into slavery, though it happened even now here.
No, the Ashanti said that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I say even here, it happens. The survivor of the fittest. It happened. But the Ashantis didn't want the British to overpower them and take their people away.
No, the Ashanti didn't want the British to defeat the Ashanti.
Yeah.
But the Ashanti didn't have any problem defeating others.
This
is what made us weak, brother, in the end.
No, you know what happened? The Ashantis wanted their kingdom to enlarge.
Yeah, they expanded their kingdom at the expense of others.
So they fought to the north. They fought to many territories in Ghana even, and won. And as such, they came under them. You know what they did? Let me tell you a secret. For instance, they came from Holland and they conquered here. The king will marry somebody from the palace here and go away, impregnate the person and go away. Right now, you know, the Ashanti kingdom is so big. Ashanti, the language I'm speaking to my wife now, is the widely spoken language in Ghana. The Akan, Ashanti, we call Ashanti or Akan, tree. That is widely spoken. Though they enslaved, not that they enslaved them to worship, but they conquered to get that land.
I understand.
But not to the Europeans.
No, but the Ashanti were trading people to the Europeans. For guns, and gunpowder.
Brother, let me tell you, you know a secret. The Ashantis had their own. If there were a Durbar of chiefs, if I were in Ghana with you and there were a Durbar, you will see the traditional guns they used to fight the British. They made their own gunpowder.
They have videos. There's a video on YouTube, right? And a guy is interviewing an Ashanti historian, and she opened the book and she's laying out the tapestry and it's drawn and she's explaining the history, right? So I understand the difference between territorial expansion, right? Opportunistic business practices, 18th century morality. I know all of that, right? But what you have to understand is I'm going to see it from the perspective of the other side. I'm going to see it from the perspective of the conquered. I'm not going to see it from the perspective of the conqueror. That's your perspective. My perspective is the conquered. Right? Now we can look back and discuss history with rational minds, right? But I have to always deal with truth.
And the lesser side.
Right.
But you know the Europeans also enslaved some Europeans, Albanians, and
they enslaved
them also.
Of course.
No, believe you me, I'm not 100% saying the Ashantis were right because it is evident. Some kings traded in for wine, schnapps. That is true, I can say. But most of the great Ashanti kings fought against that. They didn't want it.
When they turned it on them. When they listen, because Europeans had a design. First they wanted that Ashanti gold.
They wanted the Ashanti gold.
The Ashanti gold. That's what they wanted. That's what attracted them to the coast. Was the Ashanti gold.
And with the gold.
They heard about the Ashanti gold from them Arab traders.
And it's in abundance.
So now that's what brought them there. But then they wanted the people. And they found that the Ashanti had already had a slave system in place. And they were just trading for...
Believe me, 1096 AD, that was when the Ghana Empire started to come along. 1096 AD, That time there was the Mali Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Ghana Empire, the greatest empires in the West Coast. But Ghana was the greatest. So after long line of history to forward it, when Kwame Nkrumah came into power, they had to go back to the ancient Ghana and adopt that name, Ghana. It was the Gold Coast because in abundance.
Yeah, Europeans call it Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's why Kwame Nkrumah said, no, we have to go back to our ancestral name.
You know, I had an argument with a guy, an Ashanti guy, right? Owns a shop on White Plains Road. He tried to tell me the name was Gold Coast. I said, listen, how can the name be Gold Coast? We didn't speak English.
Gold Coast.
Right?
It's an English
I said,
name.
how can it be Gold Coast? We didn't speak English, right? He said, no, it was Gold Coast, I'm telling you. I said, listen, man. I said, listen. Ghana was the Ashanti Empire.
No, believe you me, some people are not into the history much. They never studied the history or they never even heard it from somebody.
Mike, I had a guy get angry with me, right? And tell me that his people in Ghana were the interpreters for the English. So that they spoke. I said, if you were the interpreters for the English, you were the traders. What are you telling me?
No.
I said English come from England. They didn't speak no English in the west coast of Africa until the English got there.
During that time, there was no even the Creek we speak now.
This guy got mad at me and told me they spoke English in the west coast. I said, then you a trader.
Never.
And now he don't talk to me again.
No. I know it, brother. I know it.
I know you know.
There is no way we spoke English.
I know you know.
Even the language we speak now, that time they never spoke that language. In the tree, it was different. They use certain words. Now I cannot even
because
understand.
It's progressing.
Very good.
Progressing.
And they are now having a dialogue to have the tree as a national language. So that we will all have the same dialect.
And get rid of that damn English.
That is it. Because you go to school in Ghana, English.
Yeah.
For us, we go to school in, let's say, Philippines, they have their Tagalog. That is the national language. So if even they will speak the English, it's the second language. But Ghana, even our own language, though we teach it. We graduated in university. But the English is official. And that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, no. That is hello, young man. That is the presence of that Eurocentric perspective. This is why people say we're Africans. I said, no, listen, right? First of all, our people had their own names, right? Now, if you don't know it, then you're using a generic term. But think about this. You take the Maasai in Kenya, right? You take the Ashanti in Ghana, right? You take the Wolof in Senegal, right? How you gonna just say? How you just gonna say African? Now you're not saying nothing about the tradition, the culture, the history. You're not saying nothing. You could be talking about the Khoisan of South Africa, who still have basically Stone Age technology for a culture, and you talking about the Ashanti, who had an empire. You talking about dirt farmers versus empire builders. And if you use one term for everybody, what you're really doing is marginalizing the history of the people. Right? Now that's my perspective. So they get mad at me for that.
No. They shouldn't be mad. They don't know.
I'm saying at least have enough respect for the history of the people to learn their names, right? How you just gonna say, I had a sister, I did an interview, it's on YouTube, right? She's from Cote d'Ivoire, right? And I asked the sister, I said, growing up, did you think you were African? She said, no, I know I was Mandingo Bambara. I said, I said, oh, when did you find out you were African? She said, when I came here to the U.S. I said, yeah, see, I understand that. Yeah. Because if you're over there and you don't know what other people are saying about you, but you know what your culture is, then you know who you are.
You know something? Even Ghana, if you go deep into the history of Ghana, Ghanaians immigrated from the Western Sudan. Ghanaians immigrated from Western Sudan and formed the empire in the, along the Mali, Burkina Faso area before finally they moved down.
Do you know about the repelling of the Moors from Spain in 1498 that pushed them back into North Africa that caused that migration?
Do you think the Arabs in the Mediterranean belt, they were there time immemorial?
No.
I could now know they were all blacks.
Yeah, they invaded.
They invaded.
Yeah.
So if somebody tells me about the Pharaoh, I say the Pharaoh was a black man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
During that time, he was a black man. They built that pyramid.
Yeah, absolutely. That's.
But people don't know.
Well, that's kind of indisputable now.
I'm glad, Harry, you know more. May try, Uncle. May I tell you? I know you know more into the history of Africa and most countries in Africa, even much more than most of us. Because from what you're telling me now, you are deep into the history. And I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Me. I love that.
You have to be. You have to know. You have to know, because if you don't know, then you're running around here calling yourself nigger.
Because, oh yeah, those idiots. Why? Because, let me say, let's say your great-great-great-grandfather or mother came from Africa with the name Kwaku. Kwaku means a male born on Wednesday. That is my name. He was called maybe by my name Kwaku Buache. Who knows? Maybe right now we may be blood related.
If I would have been born there, my name would have been Kofi.
Maybe Kofi.
Kofi, because I was born on Friday.
On Friday, so you are Kofi.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
Come on, this man. You know it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love people who want to know more about
themselves.
And themselves.
Yes.
Sometimes I ask myself, so my brothers who are the artists, the movie stars, do they realize something, their ancestral, their heritage?
You know what happens? They are more traveled, so they actually get to see it. They actually get to go, right? Yeah. My people here are isolated in pockets all over this place, right? They don't even know themselves. They don't even agree on who they are among themselves, right? I push for a conversation to name ourselves because we've yet to do it, right? So you'll note that they call us blacks, they call us African Americans, they call us Negroes, they call us colored. Yes, right? And I tell them that coming out of slavery, we have never formed and named ourselves as a people, right? And this is the thing that people do on planet Earth. Every people, everywhere. You see the South Sudan just did it, right? Now is a new nation, the South Sudanese, right?
Yeah, the new nation.
We're still just ex-hostages in the United States, right? The status of which is still in dispute. This is why you still have political action centered around voter rights. You people come here from all over Europe, from all over the Spanish-speaking world. You don't never hear them talk about voter rights legislation for them. We're born here, and they still talk about voter rights legislation for us.
You know what I say? I said Americans, the black Americans, and the Native Americans, the original Americans, these two people own this country. But the whites from Europe have pushed them aside and making laws for them. How come? Sometimes I sit down and I can't understand.
Power and ignorance.
Ignorance on the part of our people.
Yes. And power on the parts of them. They use their power to reinforce the propaganda. This, when you turn on the television, every channel got a cop show on, showing you how they're gonna catch you if you even try it.
and they can pull you in your village, in the village of Harlem,
Yeah.
pull you over.
Yeah.
You want to search
Throw you,
Come
search
on.
you for nothing.
Damn you.
Because you know slavery never ended here.
No.
No, they got the prison system is slavery.
It's continuing.
The Constitution tells you that you can't be a slave unless you're convicted of a crime.
Yeah. Then that moment you are
Yeah, you're a
because
slave.
you are confined.
They tell you.
You do what you don't want
They
to
tell
do.
you.
Yeah.
They
That is
tell
true.
you. They tell you.
Hey, my brother, we will have time to continue.
Yes.
This conversation. And please,
Listen.
don't be like other people
No.
who hate we from Africa.
No, listen.
We are brothers.
Listen. I don't hate my brothers, right?
No, some people
But
think.
in order to accurately assess how we came to be
Yeah.
in the situation that we find ourselves in
Mm.
today,
Yeah.
you have to know the correct history.
Anyway,
You can't look. I tell people, right? They get mad at me because I'm all over YouTube, right? And I talk about the Ashanti. I talk about Ashanti aggression. I talk about what happened, right? The reason why I say, look, first of all,